Hey there, CJ Math students. I'm going to walk you through homework 5.6, constructing and solving equations. So 1 through 4 are the problems that look like one step, but they're really two-step equations. So start off by multiplying both sides by the denominator, 2. We bring down the expression that was in the numerator, 8 plus x, is equal to negative 3 times 2. That's a DSN. I almost said SSP, but different signs negative, so it gives me negative 6. And now I have a one-step equation. I add negative 8 to both sides, bring down x, and I get negative 6 plus negative 8. That's an SSAK, negative 14. So to check, I will plug in 8 plus not x, but negative 14 over 2 equal to negative 3. So 8 plus negative 14 gives me negative 6 over 2 is equal to negative 3. And I'm asking myself, is negative 6 divided by 2 really equal to negative 3? Yes, it is. That's my answer. Number 3. Multiply by negative 4 on both sides. Those cancel off. I get a positive 4 because this is an SSP equal to negative 5 plus n. I look and I see, okay, I need to add 5 to both sides. That cancels out. N gets dropped down, equal to 4 plus 5 is 9. So to plug in, I'll say negative 1, is it really equal to negative 5 plus not n, but 9 over negative 4? And is negative 1, so negative 5 plus 9 is positive 4 over negative 4. And does 4 divided by negative 4 really equal negative 1? Yes, it does. So therefore, I know I'm done. All right, here, we're going to say first, what is x? So you had 23 to spend on 4 notebooks. After buying them, you had 7. How much did each notebook cost? So x is the cost of each notebook. And now I'll go ahead and write my equation. So I'll say I had $23. I spent or subtracted 4 times the amount of each notebook, which I don't know. That's my x. And I know I'm left with 7. So in doing so, I'll say plus a negative, and then I will solve this two-step equation. So adding negative 23 to both sides. In doing so, this is a DSSM, different sign subtract. So I really need to do 23 minus 7, which is 16. And I know I have more negatives, so negative 16 equal to not bring down 4x, negative 4x. So you got to be super careful with all your negatives involved here. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. And I find out that SSP, same sign's positive, all notebooks cost me $4. So think about it. If I bought 4 notebooks, 4 times 4 is 16. I gave him 23. I should get $7 and change. That's exactly what I got. Number 7. Daryl rented a bike from Sumale's Bikes. Cost him $17 plus $5 per hour. If Dave paid $47, then he rented the bike for how many hours? X represents how many hours, right? So we know it's 17 plus 5x. I don't know how many hours, but I know he paid 47, right? So we'll go ahead and draw our Tetris. Add negative 17 to both sides. This is DSSM, different sign subtract. Drop down your 5x. Equals 47 minus 17 is 30. I keep the positive because there are more positives. I divide by 5. And Dave went on a rather long bike ride. He rode it for 6 hours. I'd pause and do number 8 if I were you. Number 9. Paul won 88 super bouncy balls playing hoops at the county fair. At school, he gave 3 to every student in his math class. What a nice guy. He only has 10 remaining. How many students are in his class? So what is x? The number of students, right? So we know he has 88. We know he gave away 3 to every student, but we don't know how many students there are, and we know he has 10 left, right? So now we can say plus negative, and we can add negative 88 to both sides. This is DSSM, different sign subtract. So really you do 88 minus 10, which is 78, but there were more negatives, so negative 78 is equal to not 3x, but negative 3x. Divide by not 3, but negative 3. And x is equal to a positive 26, because SSP there. So there are 26 students in this class. If you gave them each 3, if you started with 88, you gave out 78, and you should only have 10 remaining. Okay. Number 11. Indiba spent half his weekend allowance playing mini golf. To earn more money, his parents let him clean the windows of the house for 10. What was his weekly allowance if he ended with 17? So X is the amount of his weekly allowance, right? And the equation is, okay, we start with your allowance. We're going to cut it in half because you spent it. And then we're going to say, okay, but you also washed the windows, so you earned 10 and you ended up with 17. Right? So now if I were to go ahead and solve this, I add negative 10 to both sides. That cancels out. X over 2 gets dropped down. 17 plus negative 10, that's a positive 7 because it's DSSM, different signs subtract. 17 minus 10, keep it positive because there were more positives. Multiply by 2 on both sides, and I get X is equal to $14. So he's earning $14 a week. He spends half of it. That means he's only got 7 left. He earns 10 more dollars. He should end up with 17. That's exactly what we had. And number 13. Catherine had some candy to give to her 3 children. She first took 10 pieces for herself and then divided the rest among her children. Each child received 5 pieces. How many pieces did she start with? Wow, so we got a lot going on here. So pieces she started with, right? She's going to have some candy that she's going to start with. That's X. And she's first going to take 10 pieces for herself. So we can say like X plus 10, right? And she's going to then evenly divide the rest amongst her children, divided by her children, which is 3 children. And each children receives 5 pieces. So how much does she start with, right? Or sorry, if she's going to take 10 for herself, that should be minus 10, my fault, right? Taken away from the total. So you multiply by 3 on both sides, and you get X minus 10 is equal to 15, because this cancels out, and you just drop on that expression down. And then you add 10 to both sides, and you figure out, hey, she started out with 25 pieces. So 25, take away 10 for herself, and then you're left with 15 pieces, and you divide it amongst your 3 children, and they each got 5 pieces, and that makes sense. All right, so this last one's actually kind of difficult, so I'll do it with you. It's a baseball question. Andre hit 4 more home runs than twice the number Larry hit. So let's think about what that just said. Andre is 4 more than, so something is going to go at the end, right? 4 more than, right? Twice the number, so 2x plus 4, right? So that's Andre's expression, right? Larry is just x, right? We don't know how many, but we know Andre hit 4 more than twice x, right? Together, they hit 10 home runs. So let's take these 2 expressions, let's add them together. Let's say Larry plus Andre is equal to 10 home runs, right? We know that. But we also know we have expressions. We can go ahead and say, okay, Larry, which is x, plus Andre, which is 2x plus 4, is equal to 10, right? I see I have some like terms, so I can combine those first. So I have 3x plus 4 is equal to 10. And now I can go ahead and solve this 2-step equation. And I add negative 4 to both sides. And in doing so, I get 3x is equal to 6 because, sorry, that was a negative 4, different sign, subtract there. And I divide by 3, and I get x equals 2. And you're like, okay, Andre hit 2 home runs, right? That's actually not true because x is 2, correct? So that we just solved for what Larry was. To solve for how many home runs Andre hit, we got to plug in x. So Andre hit 2 parentheses 2 plus 4, otherwise known as 4 plus 4, otherwise known as he hit 8 home runs. So there is your answer right there. Andre hit 8 home runs, and that makes sense, right? If you say, okay, Larry hit 2 home runs, Andre hit twice that number, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 more than that, 4 plus 4 is 8. That is exactly what we got. Kind of tricky, but go ahead and do the rest. Call me if you have questions. Show all work.